Hello, I am Evangelist First Lady Sharon Liner, coming out of Houston, Texas, bringing you home daily Bible readings um, leading up to those Sunday morning Sunday school or Christian education lessons so that we'll be prepared for the lesson that day. We are starting in a semester that is all about love. So we talk about love issues, God rewards obedience, love versus guilt. And right now we're talking about love versus guilt. So Monday's lesson comes out of Psalms 51, 1 through 12. The background of that lesson is that David has committed a sin against God. And David has had Uriah's wife to himself, and then he had Uriah killed. The prophet Nathan goes to David and says to David, this is wrong, and you know it's wrong. Bathsheba has a son, and the son dies, and David is now apologizing and giving himself back to God, saying, Lord, I'm wrong. And he says to the Lord, have mercy on me, O God, according to your loving kindness, because we know that God is kind and merciful, according to the multitude of your tender mercies. Blot out my transgression. He's not saying that I didn't do it, I didn't commit it. He's like, Lord, I'm sorry, I need you to forgive me. That's what he's saying. Because now he goes on in verse 2 and he says, wash me thoroughly from mine iniquity and cleanse me from my sins. So we're in the book of Psalms 51, 1 through 12. David acknowledges his transgressions and he says, and my sins are ever before me. Then he says, verse 4, Lord, against you and against you only have I sinned. So we have to be aware that when we sin, the sin is not against people, and the sin, it is against people. But really, because we call ourselves Christian, because we follow in the Christian path, the real sin is against God. Okay? He says, against thee and thee only have I sinned, and done this evil in thy sight, that you might be justified when you speak, and be clear when you judges. He says, Lord, I was born in sin and shaped in iniquity. In sin did my mother conceive me. Behold, you desire the inward part. In the hidden part you shall make me to know wisdom. Purge me with hyssop, and I'll be clean. Wash me, and I'll be whiter than snow. David realizes his fault. David realized that he was born in sin and shaped in iniquity. David realizes that there is nothing that he does that God doesn't see, recognize, know. He says, make me to hear joy and gladness, that the bones which thou hast broken may rejoice. Hide your face from my sins and blot out my iniquities. Second time he says that. Then he says, one of our favorite scriptures to repeat, create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. So David understands that his spirit is off kilter, that he needs a clean heart, that he needs to walk in God, that he needs to talk in God, that he needs to be in God, that God needs to be in him. He realizes that. And then he says, cast me not away from your presence, and take not your Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of thy salvation. We talk often about, remember when you first got saved? How do you feel now? Do you feel that same way? This is the same thing that David says. Restore unto me the joy of thy salvation, and uphold me with thy free spirit. Talking about not the spirit of man, but the spirit of God. So this is Home Daily Bible Readings for Monday, September 14th, Psalms 51, 1 through 12. I'm First Lady Evangelist Sharon Liner, bringing you home daily Bible readings each day of the week, getting us ready for that Christian education. God bless.